Welcome back to our exploration of the Orion's Armed Universe project. I'm your host, the Muuh author. In a previous video of ours, the Muuh briefly talked about the Muuh have been around for millions of years and so are very knowledgeable on a wide range of topics, especially history of ancient civilizations. They record huge amounts of data in their archives. However, there are a few topics that Muuh will never discuss under any circumstances. This abstinence of communication is known as the Muuh taboo and is encoded in their biology, probably by some ancient entity of around the 4th taposophic level, as Terrigens below S4 cannot safely break through it. When Terrigens or other Xenosophons question them on these topics, Muuh will either ignore them or quickly switch to a different topic. Which topics are they reluctant to discuss? First, they will not discuss where the Muuh homeworld is, why Muuh culture is so stable, or why the Muuh phenotype has barely changed over millions of years and is basically the same between different Muuh worlds. They will not discuss why the Muuh colony on Muuh home, the moon where the Muuh were first contacted by Terrigens, is isolated thousands of light years away from the Muuh volume. They will not discuss who or what the Dawn Hunters truly were. I will not discuss that either, as the Dawn Hunters are complicated enough to get their own video, but for the purposes of partially satiating your curiosity, I will describe them as a group of advanced, semi-mythological ancient war machines, which some believe were responsible for an attack on the Muuh 4.9 million years ago. Moving on, the Muuh also won't discuss the Muuh pylons, which are huge, enigmatic objects that are hundreds of kilometers long and reside in star systems that Muuh live in. These pylons appear after the Muuh formers, powerful enigmatic devices that terraform planets for Muuh, are done making a world habitable. The purpose of these pylons is unknown, and the system of response, the Muuh's hyper-intelligent, non-self-aware defense system, prevents anyone from going near them. However, fragments which came off from pylons are able to be inspected and have been revealed to contain fractal-like shapes resembling 3D projections of higher dimensional objects. The pylons are composed of diamondoid and are covered by a thin mesh of magmatter, which has to be created by at least an S3. This is strange because Muuh in the present day do not seem to have any S3 beings in their society, and so would be incapable of producing pylons. Another thing included within the Muuh taboo that Muuh are seemingly incapable of producing is the Ultima gate. This is a huge wormhole, 1 kilometer in radius, located within Muuh space. In Muuh databases, the wormhole is replaced by an equivalent mass star. Its origin is unknown, but Muuh archaeological remains dating back 4 million years have been found on a nearby rogue planet, which implies that the wormhole is at least as old as Muuh presence in the area. Despite this evidence of past nearby activity, in the present day there is a large uninhabited gap around the wormhole, and the nearest Muuh settlement is 70 light years away. The wormhole is guarded by a huge defense fleet of automated ships with hard-coded loyalty. The transition area of the wormhole contains a defensive cloud continuously replenished by nearby facilities, which consists of spherical disassembler objects 10 to 37 millimeters in size, which contain antimatter, along with huge swarms of devices called Nidae. Nidae contain coils of magmatter wire, which they can release to penetrate matter. These wires can act as nanoscopic syringes which carry disassemblers. Despite the defenses, many Terrigens have foolishly tried to penetrate through them and reach the wormhole. This has resulted in many casualties, including a research fleet from the Seams and the neo-Soonist prophet Mao Sunbill ever-present. Terrigens have now enacted a travel ban that prevents any Terrigen vessels from going near the wormhole, though in the last few centuries, an increasing number of Muuh, Sephirotic, and Pan-Virtuality ships have occupied the region, possibly with Clark Tech weaponry. There have also been unconfirmed reports of metric ghosts, which are mysterious, mobile, seemingly intelligent distortions of space-time, as well as phenomena associated with S6 Archelex. But what is the reason for the taboo? Well, that's part of the taboo as well, so we will not tell you. but from observing the disastrous consequences of the few times in which the taboo was broken, we can infer that it is in place for a very good reason. Some of the worst incidents include the Urgapoleon incident and the Nunchi sponges incident. In 9781, a semi-hydropolity named the Urgapolis discovered an ancient dormant Muuh ship, which they nicknamed the Sleeping Popsicle. The frozen Muuh inhabitants were revived after inspection by a nearby transsapient named Prince Lecter. The government of the Urgapolis hoped that the Muuh could give them vital or secret information out of gratitude, allowing them to come out of isolation and become a powerful polity. The Muuh of the ship had a different mental state from typical Muuh, and so the Urgapoleons were able to extract information from them and get them to break the taboo. Like the Urgapoleon government had hoped, this gave the Urgapolis previously unknown information, which led to the development of new ideas and technology, dramatically altering Urgapoleon society and leading to several ascensions. However, the Urgapoleon government did not anticipate what would happen next. The specific details of what happened are uncertain. Neighboring polities received distress calls and arrived to find empty habitats with signs of conflict. It appears that Urgapoleon society collapsed, leaving only a few survivors to be recovered, which had phenotypes unlike any clade seen in the Terrigen sphere and previously unknown genomods and augmentations. All Muuh technology was returned to the system of response, which also gave psychological and memetic evaluations to all who came into contact with Urgapolis. The remaining Urgapoleon survivors are now cared for in the Transform Eternal policy by the ruling transsapient Fu, despite the system of response's request to receive them. Later, in 10205, a group of cryo-adapted neogens called the Nunchi settled the system, also named Nunchi. A Muuh ship arrived at the system and contacted them. At first, the Nunchi welcomed them, as they had no prior knowledge of the Muuh's existence and thought they were another Terrigen neogen clade. However, the Nunchi were part of the Neo-Urak Eternity sect of Terrigen supremacists, and when the Nunchi realized the Muuh were not Terrigens but a xenosophant species, they subjected the Muuh to interrogation, experimentation, and torture. The Muuh tried not to break their taboo, but the Nunchi utilized Mindku and were eventually able to get them to break it. What exactly happened next is uncertain, as records are believed to be corrupted or falsified due to the unbelievable nature of what they describe. But 37 years later, the Nunchi set out a distress signal to the nearest inhabited system. When a craft from the system of response and a transsapient named Alfonso of Eridani arrived to investigate, they discovered the Nunchi habitat in ruins. No survivors were recovered. However, a mysterious mat of thousands of sponge-like organisms was found covering the floors of the habitat. The entire habitat was destroyed, and the system was quarantined for a century. The moral of the story is, maybe we shouldn't try to break the Muuh taboo. I'll leave you with a cryptic quote from Yave, the Terrigen Federation's ruling architect. All you're doing now, the Muuh have done eons ago. You must hope that we won't listen and see like they did. Thanks for watching, and goodbye, explorers!